What's going on, y'all? It's your girl Taylor Nicole, and we back with another episode and another series of Let's Talk Black History. This is where we come in and we discuss about a person, place, or thing, and we talk about our Black history like no other. We get into who we're talking about, what they did, what their impacts were, what the end result was, and overall how it impacted the world and possibly impacted me. And also, how will it impact you? We're going to dive in today's episode and we're going to learn a little bit more about some Black history on Let's Talk Black History. So now I know you're wondering, well, what was the end result for Miss Bessie Coleman? What did she accomplish after her ability to be a pilot? Well, in the end, Miss Coleman wanted to start pursuing flighter schools. She wanted to get into the business of creating a flighter school to teach people flight, especially Black people. But unfortunately, in her lifetime, it wasn't established for her to be able to do that. See, unfortunately, Miss Bessie Coleman passed away April 30th, 1926, because of an aviation accident/incident. So, unfortunately, during one of her practices, Miss Coleman was in the air doing a routine practice, and a bolt or some sort wedged into, and I believe it was a bolt is what they called it. Um, a wrench, a loose wrench. My bad, not a bolt. A loose wrench was inside the engine of the plane, and it caused it to malfunction, causing her to spiral in the air. And as her plane was spiraling, it ejected her out of the plane, unfortunately. And when it ejected her out of the plane, it threw her quite a distance, unfortunately. And she ended up passing away in Jacksonville, Florida. And her death, some people thought it was sabotage. Some people thought that, you know, that maybe she would have survived had she had her seatbelt on. And some people say other things. Well, it was noted that she didn't have on her seatbelt, mainly because she was practicing, but she did have her seatbelt on while she was in the plane. But at the end of the day, it's very possible she would have died, because not only did she die, but her mechanic who worked on her plane for her, Mr. William Willis, also died that day, because when the plane crashed, it imploded and it unfortunately killed him as well. So both parties died that day due to her plane crash. So when people say it was sabotage, or people say that she possibly could have survived it had she had her seatbelt on, based on the fact that Mr. Williams passed away during that time, lets me know she wouldn't have survived it either. Now, although her death was a tragedy, and we definitely could have seen more of Miss Coleman and maybe got her story and her life, and from her in her own words, we got the opportunity to at least hear and then you can go look it up. You can go see and hear more about Miss Coleman besides just her aviation school and her learning of aviator flying. Um, her death was ruled an accidental death. They deemed no sabotage, no malicious play, or no foul play or anything like that. Um, I'm not sure exactly when what her family might have, if how many of her family members might have been alive, because it didn't say anything. But I would say, her aircraft going from 2,000 feet in the air downwards, because she was doing a routine, and it went up and it ended up turning and flying downwards, nose diving downwards. So imagine this, but spinning, right? And it's coming from 2,000 feet in the air. So when it was spinning, eventually it opened up and it flung her body out. And as it spent down, it plummeted into the ground, causing a massive impact that, like I said earlier, unfortunately took the life of Mr. William Willis as well. So that's unfortunately the ending of Miss Coleman's career. She spent 6 years doing that. Like I said, she passed away in 1926. She got her license in 1921. I did not mean to say 6 years. I meant to say 5 years. She got her license in 1921, so she spent a little under 5 years technically doing the aviator flying, the performances, the events. She lived her life with no fear, no regrets, and went straight head on to it.